officially going to call myself the best predictor in the hockey world today. I went 10-1 last week. I'm killing it. I can't be stopped right now. I just know. Look at the running total, 23-10 after just a couple weeks. After an off week, the first week. I'm just like, I don't know. You guys can just call me the Hockey Oracle if you guys want to. But anyways, guys, welcome back to another video, guys. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I want to say thank you guys so much for 100 subscribers. I'm not going to do a 100 subscribers special just because that's kind of like lame just for 100 subscribers. But I will definitely be doing one for 1,000. But thank you guys so much for 100 subscribers. It means a lot, especially after just 1 month. So thank you guys for that. We have a whole bunch of games to predict. I'm sure I'll get them all right like I always do, but let's get right into the video. Alright, let's start it off with the Boston Bruins versus the Detroit Red Wings. My favorite team takes on another Original Six team. I don't know if there's so much rivals, but they have obviously played themselves a lot since they both came out of the Original Six. I think Tuukka Rask is starting. He's been sensational in the last couple of games. And apparently Jimmy Howard is on the chopping block. A couple of teams have been interested in him. I'm going to go Boston. I think this should be a pretty easy game for Boston, even though the Red Wings are still sitting around 500. But I think Marchand will hopefully start to pick it up now. He hasn't gotten a penalty in a while, which is good for him and the Bruins. He did get a goal last game to end his 7-game goal drought, apparently. So I think Marchand hopefully will start to pick it up. I just don't think the Red Wings have the talent to compete every night with teams like the Bruins, the Leafs, the Lightning. So for that reason, I'm going to go the Bruins 5-3. The Columbus Blue Jackets versus the New York Islanders. The Blue Jackets are sitting atop of the Metropolitan Division, which is pretty impressive, even though the Metropolitan Division is a bit weaker this year, which has allowed the Islanders to stay in the playoff race right now. I'm going to go Blue Jackets over the Islanders in this one, just because of where they sit in the standings. I looked at the home and away records for all these teams at all these games as well, and I think the Blue Jackets are a better away team than the Islanders are. Than the Islanders are home team. So for that reason, I've got the Blue Jackets winning it 4-3. The San Jose Sharks versus the Ottawa Senators. Probably the biggest storyline tonight is Erik Karlsson playing his former team for the first time. This should be a very exciting game. Unfortunately, I won't be able to watch any of these guys' games except for like the later games maybe tonight. I've got other things to do, but I'll definitely be watching the highlights for all of these, especially this game. I'm interested to see how Erik Karlsson does. He definitely has been a disappointment so far for the Sharks, so I don't know what they're going to do with him at the moment. But anyways, for now, the storyline should be pretty exciting. I've got the Sharks winning it 3-1 here, but really this game could go either way, just where the teams are sitting in the standings. But I'm going to go the Sharks 3-1. The Minnesota Wild versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. This is pretty much like my wild card pick for the whole night. I've got, as you can see, the Wild over the Leafs in overtime. I've predicted the Leafs the last couple weeks. I thought I would change it up. I feel like the Minnesota Wilds have just obviously gone over expectations. Definitely played over expectation, which has been fantastic for them and their fans. I'm still going to go the Wild here against the Leafs 2-1 in overtime. I feel like the Wild have a good defense that I think they'll be able to shut down the Leafs. I just picked up Devin Dubnyk in my fantasy pool. He was not picked yet, so I think the Wild will bounce back after a couple tough losses here. I've got the Wild winning it 2-1. Montreal versus the New York Rangers. There always seems to be like that kind of shootout game every Saturday or even every night that is just like, that game's just going to go to a shootout. And this is what I think is going to happen in this one. Both teams have had good starts. The Canadiens have really started to fall off a cliff and they're dropping like a rock right now. But the Rangers are still staying up there. Unfortunately for Rangers fans, I have the Canadiens winning it. I think they're finally going to pick it up. Their offense has not been there, but I think Shea Weber helps out the team a lot. Again, I picked him up in fantasy as well. So I feel like both these teams have definitely performed above expectations, but I think the Canadiens are going to win it and kind of hopefully turn things around after the last couple games. So I've got the Canadiens winning it 5-4. Tampa Bay and Florida. The Tampa Bay Lightning are sitting really high up in the standings. I don't know where they are. I'm not sure if they're number one in the league. I'm not quite sure. But they're doing it without Andre Vasilevsky, which is quite an accomplishment. Domingue has not been great. Domingue or Domingue, I don't know what it is. But he hasn't been great for the Lightning. He's just been decent. So I still think the Lightning are going to take this game. But I do think it's going to be close. Battle of Florida, I guess you could say. But I do have the Lightning winning winning it 5-3, as the Panthers did also play last night. I mean, good for the Panthers also to beat the Buffalo Sabres. Last night, the Sabres, they're not playing tonight. I just wanted to talk about them quick. Won 10 straight, congratulations, but now they've dropped 2 in a row, and the Panthers just beat them last night. So I think the Panthers playing back-to-back are going to struggle with the Lightning tonight. 5-3 Tampa. And here are the next 6 games for you guys tonight. Quick change. And there we go. Again, we're about halfway through the video, so let's keep this thing rolling. Dallas and Vancouver. I've got Dallas beating Vancouver right off the bat. Again, Vancouver is definitely, they've definitely started to cool off after a pretty decent start. They do have Brock Besser back, and I just can't even start to talk about the Elias Pettersson pass to Besser. But anyways, that's a different story. I still have the Stars winning it here 5-3. I think the Stars are obviously the better team. The Canucks, they looked good at the beginning of the year, but I knew it can continue forever and for the rest of the year. And for that reason, I still have the Stars winning at 5-3. The Battle of Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh versus the Philadelphia Flyers. The Penguins, they've definitely had a horrible start to the year, but I think things are starting to change. Crosby had the hat trick against the Avalanche, even though they did lose 6-3. So I think Crosby needs a bit more help from his team. He's kind of leading them here through this rough patch. I do have the Penguins winning at 4-1. It has not been the season for the Flyers. I mean, they just fired Ron Hextall, their GMs, so things have definitely not worked out for the Flyers the way they hoped for this season. I've got the Penguins winning at 4-1. I think they're definitely turning it around after a horrible start. So, Penguins 4-1. 3 more games to go tonight. Let's go take a look at Arizona and St. Louis. Arizona has been quite the surprise this year, staying around 500, but I think they have a chance at making the playoffs in the Pacific Division because it's pretty weak this year. St. Louis is a team in the Central Division that's really struggling right now. I think they're 9-12 and something, or 9-13. I'm not sure what quite the record is, but I do have the Coyotes winning it here 2-1 in overtime. It should be quite the game tonight, but again, 2-1 Coyotes. Nashville and Chicago. This is a team I don't think Chicago has ever really let up on the Predators, especially their fans. I mean, even though they got swept like 4 or 3 years ago, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, even though they got swept 4-0 in that series like 2 years ago, the fans still have not let go on that moment. So the Predators are still the better team this year. The Blackhawks, I think, made a big trade, Dylan Strome, and picking up Dylan Strome and Brendan Perlini recently. I think that trade helps them out a lot, and definitely for the future as well. But I do have the Predators winning at 5-2 tonight. The last game of the night, the Vegas Golden Knights and the Edmonton Oilers. Vegas has definitely picked it up recently. I don't know what they are in their last 10, but Max Pacioretty is a person or a player that has really started to turn things around, just like the team. I traded Max Pacioretty when he was at like 2 goals, and now he's at like 8 or 9 or something. It's crazy. Definitely pretty upset about that trade. But anyways, I have the Vegas Golden Knights winning tonight 6-3. The Oilers have been decent this year, but they definitely have not been at where the fans and where the GM has wanted, or the owner has wanted the team to be at, as they did fire Todd McClellan as well. So Ken Hitchcock, they're hoping will turn things around, but tonight I still have the Golden Knights winning at 6-3. That's going to be it for this episode, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to hit the like button at the bottom of the screen. But I hope you guys all enjoyed the episode. And like always, if you guys can guess the song down below, you guys will be entered into a draw for the t-shirts. For the t-shirt, I don't know when that next draw will be. Maybe next weekend, maybe the weekend after that. I'm not quite sure. And all of the winners for the t-shirt draw will be entered into the jersey draw around Winter Classic time. So I'm super excited for that. We're getting the jersey kind of designed now, so we should have a concept for that soon. But until next time, guys, we'll see you guys in the next video.